So that's my rule. That's why you guys see that I stay on the same stocks. I just stay watching the same stocks over and over and over. CNXA yesterday and AVGR all day yesterday. Right? You know, you can learn a lot from that. It teaches you patience. You know, you wait for the pullbacks, you wait for key levels, you wait for it to tell you that it's, you know, that it's strong, and you're patient because you can see that the chart's moving nicely, and that again, it's a beautiful thing when you finally get a chart that you're in. You know, you can trade multiple times. You can, it's fun. Hey, Sandra, exactly, 100%. 100%. I think you have to become a professional loser before you can become a professional winner. You know, because in the beginning you suck. You just suck. That's it. There's nothing to it. You just suck. You know? There's really nothing you can do not to suck. The only way to not to suck is to fucking learn. That's it. Right? Like, you don't become a professional baseball player by, professional athlete by just pure luck. You have to put in all the work, man. You have to put in all that work. You know? And not even, what's the percentage of people that actually make it to the pros, right? What is that? Does anybody know? Like, what's the percentage of all the population of the United States that people make it to the pros? Yeah, it's tiny. So imagine you're trying to choose a career that is very like-minded, very similar in mind. This trading career. Jeez, Arden, 1.2% of college players will make it to the NFL. Wow. That is nuts. I'm watching Aubrey right here, guys. Aubrey looks like it's setting up. I see some soaking on AGRI. It's forming a wedge. Yeah, it looks like it's going to break out of this wedge. Aubrey is SSR. Aubrey should go high a day on this. Yeah, it's been consolidating. Aubrey should break high a day. I'm not really worried about this pullback. I'm going to add a little bit right here. Yeah. So we got rid of this profit takers right there. Look at that volume coming back in. There we go. Nice big volume. Right back up. Looking for a bigger move right here. I'm going to set my stop. I'm going to set my stop. I'm going to just let this play out. I feel like this is going to, let me see, 44 million, short sale restricted. Yeah, it's going to start to grind slowly back up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to continue to add those dips on Aubrey. My price target on this, honestly, is 1631. High a day right there. That's 16. That's where my resistance is. We definitely got to break through this area right here. But once we break through this area, we will start to climb. You're seeing moves like AVGR. You're seeing moves like DCTK. DTCK is short sell restriction. So the short sell restriction plays are getting hit, which is a good thing. Might add this dip right here. Not really concerned on these pullbacks. Remember, you want to add, I add higher lows. So to me, this is higher low. Yeah, you see that? See the soaking right here, guys? See that candle? See that fucking soaking right there? Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. Nice higher low. Should retest this 15 after that nice little rejection and nice little pullback. You guys look at that 5 minute. You see that 5 minute candle, how the red is really low? Only 67,000 shares were sold into that red candle. And you see how on the 5 minute it's getting accumulated? That's why we use larger time frames. Larger time frames allow you to sit in the trade much longer. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set my stop and not pay attention to this so much. I don't want to like be on the 1 minute, right? I'm comfortable with the trade. What are you guys watching? What else is there? What time is it? 8:38. Look at that soaking. So there is selling, but I see accumulation on the other end. You know, I see accumulation. So I'm going to keep adding these pullbacks. I'm going to keep adding these pullbacks. So that 5 minute candle is real small. So I think once volume starts to kick in, we should retest that 1550 area. Looking for a buyer too, looking for the buyer on level 2. There we go. See that we held, right? So 1478 is support. Look at that. Look at those buys. You can clearly see the tape shifting momentum on the tape, right? You see the tape. What else are we watching? What else are we watching? This will be my last ad right here. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But it'll be my last ad. I didn't secure any of it, so I don't want this to go red on me. But if I'm going to add right here. If this takes me out, I'll take the loss. Look at that stoke. There you go. Nice. That algo just fucking soaked that candle. You guys looking at other stuff? Abat? Let me take a look at Abat. FRTX. Let me take a look. Yeah. I think this is my favorite one right now so far. We just added those dips and look how it's getting soaked. I'm still here. Still here. Yeah, this is still getting soaked. You can clearly see that this is the key level right here. It needs to hold right here and soak right here at 1459. I think you can see the tape soaking, very small. And that's how algos do. They won't allow you to see their like size, right? They won't let you know that they're accumulating. They're not going to just buy 100,000 shares instantly. They're going to like accumulate in small portions. I got stopped out. Small loss, $140 loss. All right, let's move on to another one. I'm going to keep this one on watch. It's not ready yet. Had a nice pop, but it's not ready yet. I think it's just going to drop it right back down here to this trend line. Maybe accumulate some more, and then drive it right back up to 15. I'll keep an eye on that because I'm not worried about that loss. Let me see. Yeah, and look, you see how it's like walking it down? So this is a controlled walk down. This is what I was talking about, controlled walk down, where the algo's hasn't accumulated enough size. Brings it right back down to the trend line to support on the higher low and is adding. So what is that one? FRTX? I'll keep an eye on that one, FRTX. All right, I'm going to stop trading for a while. This is boring as shit. It's a boring day. Let me ask you some questions.
Yo.
Hey, what's up, man?
Got majority of the people in here, so I thought I'd just hop in. Do you guys want to do chair therapy today or Friday? Go ahead and emoji my comment in chat and see if we can change this or not. Yeah, Friday. Yeah, no, emoji the chat. Emoji my chat. Don't type. We got to get a little head count. Yeah, Friday, Wednesday, perfect. Wednesdays, I'm just not feeling it, right? It feels like it's like the middle of the week. Feels like it's
you haven't gotten enough in, right? You got to get either a lot of wins or a lot of losses during the week, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah, gotta have something to talk about.
Yeah, at the end of the week, you're like, dude, I got the shit beat out of me, or I crushed it, something, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just like thinking about doing this in 15 minutes. And I'm like, I feel like I'm stopping my week to go do something else and then come back to trade instead of like capping off my week, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Are you done already, brother?
Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm done for the day. I was done before the market even opened.
Jesus, that's badass, dude. I wish that's the beauty. You must be like in the Midwest or like in the East Coast, because Dude, you're in California. It's
I
hard.
am up in Utah.
What? So what are you guys? Eastern, Pacific, not
Mountain.
Pacific. Your mountain time, huh? Yeah. So you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just 1 hour ahead of you.
I can't do that, dude. I try to wake up early like that. It's hard for me.
All right. Well, that was all I wanted. You guys can go back to tape reading.
Hang out sometime. Hang out, brother. Hang out.
Yeah. I got calls and kids. So.
Oh yeah, my bad, dude. My bad.
I gotta run for now, but yeah, it looks like everyone's voting for Friday. If you haven't voted, just go drop an F or a W on my comment in there in chat. See if we can persuade Roland to switch it back to Fridays. Cool. Thanks, guys. Catch you in a bit.
Have a great one, brother.
Yeah, you too.
I think LIFW, I'm going to cut it just because it's going to roll over. We've already hit high day once, twice, 3, 4 times already. So high day 4 times on this. So I think personally I'm going to cut it just because I got my last shares writing. They weren't big size anyway. Really tiny fucking size, dude. Almost annoying, right? Almost annoying size. I'm still watching AGRI, that controlled walk down, like I said, dipped all the way back down to VWAP. I cut it. I don't want to take a dump, right? I'm not going to let it dump all the way down on me. But again, $145 loss, no big deal. It is 14 cents. But I'm going to keep this on watch, and I'm going to allow it to give me confirmation that it's going to go.
Hey, Mr. Friend, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. How about yourself, man?
Good, good. Just pretty much missing every single one of my A-plus setups throughout the year. So that's that, but it's okay. I need to get back on the horse. I wanted to ask you a question about the BJDX trade.
Yeah.
I think I already asked you about it a couple of days ago, but I realized now that he traded something similar now, and I guess it didn't think. So did you adjust? What was different when you entered this trade, considering the time of day, the 11 a.m., the lunchtime? Were your expectations different? You just wanted to bounce back to VWAP? You said at 511, right? I'm trying to get, because this is the time they go to lunch. So I'm trying to understand what you're doing there at that point.
No, I go to lunch right when the market maker goes to lunch. So it's 8:50. Okay. I'm staying at the market, because I want to see things run. Again, I mentioned I enjoy seeing things run like DTCK, AVGR. The reason that is because that means that there's still strength in the market. Majority of pros are out. They're all out right now. The only people that are hanging out are shorts right now. Because it's getting closer to lunchtime and stocks are going to fail. The only reason I watched BJDX was because it already had a key level. It was bouncing off that 200 exponential moving average at support. Yeah. It bounced off of it once, soaked twice, soaked 3 times, popped, and then the 4th time it rejected it and dropped down and sold through. And it just, there wasn't enough buyers to hold that. So, it's one of those things where again, you're always going to lose, you're always going to win. not every trade is going to go in the exact way that you want it. Like right now, I just took, or not right now, but earlier I took Agri, right? And Agri, I was green on the trade, and then I set my stop, and it came against me all the way down to VWAP. However, I already knew that it's just slow. It's a slow mover, and because of that, like it's showing higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, which tells me that it wants to break out. I'm still watching it, and same concept for this one. There's just different strategies, right? Like so, if you were thinking of a baseball player, hitting a home run, he has one pitch, right? So that's what you're saying. You saw your A+ setup, you missed it, it sucked. I don't have an A+ setup. I have 15 of them. I have 10. I don't just trade one way and then nail a home run and then tell everybody I'm green on the day. I trade everything. I can trade everything. Every single thing. Every single fucking thing I can trade. And so that's one of my plays. It's a bottom bounce reversal. That's it. And so I bought it at a key level, set my stop, and it faded. It broke down. And again, Agri, same thing. It's one of my trades. Took a loss on it. That's just trading. However, I'm not going to stop trading just because the trade went by. I'm going to continue to watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch and watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's kind of the beauty of being over PDT, right?
Yeah. Guys, keep an eye on Agri. I just seen some massive accumulation just go through. Keep an eye on Agri.
Okay, thanks. Thank you.
No. We're still talking about, man. But that's the concept of trading. Like you can continue to, stick to one pitch. Right?
Yeah.
If you're new, remember I say this all the time, guys. Hang on a second. If you're new, you want to just stick to learning, right? Give yourself a year. You want to stick to learning. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Follow the most common plays, right? But if you're already a seasoned trading veteran like I am, I fucking trade everything. I don't care. I don't need to stick to one play or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to. I'm willing to take the trade and take a loss to if my thesis is there.
You also make money on every single setup of these 15 setups. So when I say like I have like so you say that you have like I don't know 20 different setups. So I have like 3 or 4 that I consider like AA plus, but the other ones, even though I'm pretty much aware and have tracked them and reverse engineered every single thing I could, and I know what's going on there, I still don't make money on these setups. So I tend to either avoid them or.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you see. So.
I see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see. Here, how long have you been trading?
3.5 years now, and last year was my first profitable year, which yeah. But this year, everything kind of flipped on me because I finally knew what I'm doing, and everything started to stop me. I stopped being afraid, which I was all these years. I started being confident, and then I was introduced. I was doing it alone before joining the group the past 2 years, and then I joined the group, and I was introduced to the gap and crap reversals and stuff like that, which I kind of ran away from all the years because I didn't want to get involved in all the volatility. I realized that it's harder for me. I need more time.
Yeah.
And then when I ended last year with confidence and with knowledge and with experience, I thought that I can now not run away from the day one and the most volatile things that's going on there. But I took a hit January. So, and yes, now I'm back to my lane, trying to get back on my feet.
I see what you're saying, dude. I see what you're saying. I mean, that's the thing, dude. It's tough. Everybody has a different route, right? Some people get it right away. Some people don't get it, you know. And the reality is like it's all in how you manage your trading. Really, there's nothing there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong.
Man, I'm pretty butthurt right now that I didn't take AVGR this morning. I had pretty much this call down to what it's doing today even again. Like that channel, bro, that I was working yesterday. I meant, dude, if you go back, you guys go back and watch that shit, bro. Oh, sorry. What were you guys talking about? You guys talking something important? I always just jump in. I don't know what's going on. I always just interrupt. Thanks, Sarah. Continue.
No, he was just saying how. I'm sorry, dude. I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Fuck me. I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna go away now. Catch you later.
Hang out.
That's okay. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, I'm watching Augury right here. This is the dip I wanted at VWAP right here. If you guys see, draw your trend line on the bottom piece of it. Augury right here is exactly where I'm watching. But continue what you were saying, brother.
Yeah, I have eyes. That's the only one I'm sitting here watching myself for a potential entry at the moment.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Just based purely off also that LIFW went nuts, and this was one of the other ones from last week. One of the better looking ones for a push towards like 20, 30 cents, something like that.
Dude, funny you say that because I've been watching this for the last hour and I've been talking to people and I'm like, this is the only one that I like.
Yeah.
You see higher lows, and like this is probably where like I would be loading.
Right.
And because I see it breaking 1550s and then 20s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of it, it's only one, honestly, these are the only ones on my scan that have any volume, that are sub 20 cents at the moment.
Yeah, nice. Sarah, is your name Sarah?
It's actually Shirajish.
Shirajish. So
Yep.
Shiraji was just mentioning, guys, a little bit of fine here. I'm gonna go ahead and.
I'm sorry, it's not it. I was just fucking with him.
Oh.
No one really knows exactly how to say it. Hold on. Let me try.
Surag.
Siraj.
Sarag. There you go. I like it. He just said it.
He's OG millionaire #1 from the pack, by the way, you guys.
Was he the one that was talking right now? No, because the guy that I was talking to.
No, that was me. That was Magic Heston.
Yes, Magic has not made $1 million.
Yeah, that's me.
Not yet, Magic.
Not yet. I'm getting there.
Yeah, I'm gonna add some Augury. Augury's starting to like exactly where I wanted it. Yeah, dude, exactly where I wanted it.
I've been trying to get some in the dips, and it's not filling me, which is kind of is what it is. I don't really mind too much. I'm trying to be patient for like 13s even, but I don't really think it's going there for now.
No, I added those dips. I had my limits and it just wasn't filling me. Bastard.
I took a few tiny markets just because when it's in range like this, and then if I'm just starting in when I'm eventually gonna want to have like more shares, I don't mind having a little market starter just to have a piece of that. Hey, you. What?
Yeah.
Poop? Dude, my little 1-year-old's so funny because she can like talk a lot now, but not perfectly. So it's like the cutest. She just comes in, she's like, poop. I'm like, poop? She's like, yeah, poop. And she like has her hands up, like shrugs shoulders. You go poop? Where's your mama? Can you go find her? Thank you. She's so smart. It's unbelievable. Okay.
I'm just skating the market, seeing what's going on and seeing what's
Yeah,
going
me
on.
too. Me too. Hey, we're rescheduling you guys Trader Therapy back to Fridays. I don't like them midweek.
Oh no.
Yep. Who said oh no?
Listen, but it's okay. I got my time last week, so.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna start. Sorry, dude. We're gonna start doing them Fridays.
No, that's cool.
Specifically, I mean, when markets are good, Wednesdays are one of my big time trade days. I love trading on Wednesday. Like that's honestly by Wednesday. Normally, I've got real good feels for the week, or not, you know. But normally by Wednesday, I've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday mornings are kind of like want to be around. You guys know Monday mornings I'm kind of hands off unless I have very set ideas of what I want to do. Tuesdays, you know, hopefully I've got an idea of what's going on and I've got stuff to trade and I kind of know the flow of what's happening for the week. And then Wednesdays are, you know, love Wednesdays.
You guys see how he keeps wicking like that? So that's to me is like someone buying right here. There's someone that keeps soaking this area right here. So, which that's a really nice sign. I'm also looking at that 5 minute, and it's just holding, right? Just holding. We got a few more seconds before this 5 minute closes. So I want to see what this 5 minute candle looks like. It's not selling off. It's just kind of holding right here.
Mr. French, is there a difference between soaking and accumulation? Or is it one and the same?
Yeah, same concept.
Okay.
That being said, one person also could be accumulating and soaking simultaneously. It can be soaking and they are, as an indicator. It could also be one short, and not something like this so much, I don't believe. But when we get really extended stocks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm just watching it.
Total shame for me on AVGR this morning. I should have been definitely pulling the trigger exactly in the more, like, I mean, it gave you multiple opportunities. I thought about it pre-market at 975. It held 10. It's holding trend is what's happening. It's got a macro trend going on, which is why I'd expected if it spiked anymore to top out somewhere in the 13s for market hours at least. High 13s, $14 area would be like the max reward if you're literally playing this channel that it's been trading in, which is a nice solid channel there.
So we got multiple attempts to the downside at VWAP. We got 1, 2, 3 attempts to the downside on VWAP, and it's not failing. It's not dumping, right? It's not allowing it to go. So this tells me that the algo is accumulating.
It's also not filling my fucking orders in any of these areas, which also tells me the same thing. Anytime I'm not able to get filled, like at levels where it should be getting filled, I watch other orders go through and shit. Bothers me.
So I think we're going to hold this area and retest this 1550, this 15 area. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch and watch and watch and watch and just let this play out. I got my stop in. I'm not really concerned.
Now I filled a few of my 14s.
See that big buyer right there, 44.9? Is that you rolling?
Not. No, it's not. I've been buying 5 at a time. Just starting. It's definitely not me. Yeah, nice bounce on eBet after kind of max pain there this morning of people who were trying to play that breakout, I think. LIFW was such a miss, but all good. DATS has split today. Lizzie split. LIZI, keep track of those going forward. PJDX fading. EVAX. EVAX, pretty low market cap, has a PR. I took out 14.
Life W is still holding right here.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, I'm still liking that one.
That's crazy. It's just, I just can't touch it anymore. Yeah, I can't touch it. I wanted to touch a lot of it at 9 cents. You know.
I held the entire morning, dude, since like 13, since I jumped in. 13.
Nice.
And then I added more at VWAP 18.7, and then scaled out most at like 24 area, 20, like in that 25 30 area, 25 not 30 25, like 24 30 25. So 25 had probably 10%, real small size, and I locked in everything around 26 once it broke that high a day, and then I got out completely. But it's not going away, man. This thing's showing a lot of strength. Not going away.
eBet, nice hold, man. For what it is, kind of crazy. Like I said, these sub 10 cent stocks, they're behoving to try to get it over 10 at some point. And I know that they're trying to do a split, so. We're also right now, guys, smack dab in the middle of midday, just to let you know. It does matter to me, generally speaking. I'm not trying to trade too much during this period of time. But it's a really good time to go over all the stocks, find the bottoms that have been set possibly that you may be able to work off of going into the afternoons. By this time, most shorts, you know, at least a lot of shorts that I know are going to be kind of covering up and going about the same way, you know. Some of them, obviously, if we got stuff that's trading heavily all day. But generally speaking, we're going to see that drop in volume at this point in the day, so just be careful. we don't want to be over trading during, especially during periods of times that are generally speaking not going to be the most fruitful from a volatility standpoint and stuff. So
Yeah, I usually go on lunch. I was literally about to take off, but I started answering questions. So
Yep.
now's a good time for me to go to lunch, guys. I'll be back in a bit.
sounds good.
I'll be back in a bit. I'll come back closer to market maker after market makers come back from lunch, and then we'll see if we can capture some volatility, pop some liquidity, some imbalance moves, guys, and then go from there. I got my stop in. I don't have much size, but I have been accumulating these dips. Augury is going to be my top watch. My second top watch is going to be LIFW. I don't really care for BJDX.
Me neither.
I don't really care for it. DTCK, still there, just ugly, just really ugly though. I'm noticing people, you guys posting eBet. I'll keep a watch on that. But honestly, I'm just gonna set my stop and let this play out. It's moving real slow. I'm not really concerned with it. So I'll see you guys closer to 10.
Sounds good, brother. Catch you in a little bit.
See ya, man.
I know we got a
Thanks,
bunch of new wolves in here, so we'll take, since we're going to be doing Trader Therapy Fridays from now on, it's just I think it's better. We've had like a week to go about trading. And then it's something where we can, you'll have a week of work to go after, and then you'll be able to kind of, we'll get right on Friday afternoons, do our work that we need to do over the weekend to be better on Monday, and then hopefully set off on a new trajectory on Monday. I think it's better. So, any new wolves in here, or anyone who has any questions right now about the pack or anything in particular, noob questions maybe you're afraid to ask, whatever else it is, I'll give you a few minutes here midday to touch on some of those things if you'd like. But I'm really happy to see some of that we're getting some of you guys in fresh prior to having to go through the gamut of a bunch of other chat rooms and other strategies and ideas that suck a lot. What patterns or plays are good for beginners? I would honestly start with learning like morning reversals off of lows. It's going to sound weird because all you're going to want to do is chase things that are running around. But if we can actually get you away from that and get you dip buying right out the gate, dude, or lady, I don't know, whatever. But if we can get you some of those ideas to where you're dip buying out the gate, as opposed to buying breakouts, buying high day breakouts or pre-market high breaks, those would be the number one things I'd say to not do. Gap and crap reversal have been not the easiest, but the concept behind them have been good. These afternoon plays off of lows and stuff like that. Basically, if we can get you to trade some of the stocks that we're all looking at, some of these gappers, but with a lot of patience, waiting for lows to be set and then taking profits into VWAP, high of day, and pre-market highs. Any strategy for those of you who are newer right now, who are trying to get some consistency, or those who suck right now and are just trying to get some consistency, that's what I suggest for the most part right now. And it'll shift. So, obviously as some of the better, newer patterns for newer traders, I think, come in and out of play, I'll try to keep you guys posted on that stuff. Okay. So I'm going to try to keep you posted because I wouldn't want you guys to be trading gap and crap reversals solely when they're not working well, right? Because then you're just going to kind of lose. It's not good practice necessarily. I mean, it's good practice in cutting losses and understanding what happens when your trades aren't working, but big old kind of wedge forming on AGRI right now. I would have much rather had 100,000 shares or so of LIFW though at 9. Trader Y said, do I usually hold off trading during the FOMC meetings in the past, like the one today, and wait for things to shake out and set up? Not so much when small cap is doing its thing, okay? If I got good grips on small cap, I'm gonna keep trading small cap. You know, some of these bottom bouncers and stuff are not gonna be as affected by the overall markets. Now, earlier in the year when I was trading stocks like AI stocks, okay? When I was trading AI, SoundHound, BBAI, CXAI, all of those plays, particularly the like AI, I was a lot more aware. All right, when I was trading IonQ recently, even a couple months back, definitely aware. The bigger cap, the stocks that I'm trading, the more I am going to take that into consideration, if that makes sense. Most of the time, that's the idea. Any other questions? If not, we're gonna check out midday. I'm gonna be around. I have stuff. I'm gonna get yesterday's webinar. It's on YouTube for those who want to watch it. Most of it, at least.
Hey, what's going on, Roland? I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. I want to know if you keep track of the macro behavior, like every day, whether majority of the stocks are turning into all-day faders versus spiking, morning push, rejecting, etc. Like, how frequently you are doing that?
Every day, all day. That's one of the big things for me as a trader, as a day trader especially. But I mean, obviously, any trading you're doing, if you're swing trading, if you're trading commodities, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But for me, very specifically, it is an everyday process where we're trying to always gauge how these patterns are reacting, if they're reacting to the overall markets in the first place, you know? And then for me, from a process standpoint, all of those thoughts can hold more or less weight. So right now, like I said, with the stocks that I'm trading and stuff like that and what's been moving, I've not been so affected by something like the FOMC meeting or interest rates or stuff like that, because we still have 100, 200, 300% runners in small cap. And if that's the case, I'm not going to lay off small cap just because the overall markets aren't doing great, right? And really, at the end of the day, even when the overall markets are doing great, most of small cap also is sucking, right? It just happens to be what takes precedent to me are the small cap patterns. So if we have hot small cap patterns that I can take advantage of, I don't give a shit what the overall markets are doing. You know what I mean? But when I notice that everything's being affected by the overall markets, like 2022, for example, it was a big deal, So that part of the process I had to dial up. Same with like filings. There are some times when, these, for example, I'm still looking at filings. I still understand they dump, but as long as a bunch of volume's coming through, hey, love, I've dialed down right now in process. The amount of weight that I let the filings hold is a bit less right now. Okay. If you guys notice, I'm trading some very heavily dilutive stocks at times. So great question. Great question. The macro stuff is always going through my mind. It does start overall markets. It starts with the world economics and shit in my head. But then it goes, overall markets, what they're doing, because as we've seen, markets are different than what the overall world is telling us these days, right?
Right. Now,
so in that sense, I'm always dialing up and dialing down different parts of process that I put weight into based on what's going to make me the most money and let me keep the most money at any given time. I don't want to be missing opportunities on heavily dilutive stocks when they're the only things that are running, right?
Right. Now, that's interesting you say that filings hold less weight nowadays as opposed to, I think, a few months ago. Now, is that due to the pattern we've been seeing in bottom bouncers in filings?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the reason why you don't look at filings anymore? Because you know they are going to bounce at one point once they get sense?
Yep. And I still look at them. And you can see a lot of these. And if some of you really want to dig deep into some of the dilutive nature of these stocks, it'd be a great opportunity to learn about the worst dilution and what normally to avoid, because I mean, these stocks are bouncing now that we're playing them, but there were people probably trying to play them before, 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents, bag holders, all the gap ups from like 15 cents that got stuffed at 20 on something like AGRI. Any of these tickers that you look at, EBET is obviously they've been really, really bad. Anytime they've gapped up in the past when they were trading at 20, 30, 50 cents a buck. So here's the deal that I have found is that these companies, when they get, down 50 cents, 30 cents, they'll do 30-cent offerings at 10 and the stocks drop to like 15 cents and then fade to 10 cents or below. And usually by that point, they've dumped so many shares. That's why they go down that low. Because you'll see like hundreds of, if you go to EBET and you go back to August, early August, you'll see hundreds of millions of shares coming in as they came down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Obviously, people took profits into the 10-cent range because that's like 100% gain there for people. Plus, they're still dumping. So I think there just comes a point where, and I'm not saying they don't dump into these moves too. There's no way they're not dumping. That's why a stock like EBET today has done 300 million shares and traded in a penny-and-a-half range all day. Think about that. How many shares that is that have been traded of EBET today? 300 million shares, you guys. Put that into context in your brain. How many shares, okay? Granted, it's a 6-cent stock. So when I'm trading a 6-cent stock, I'm trading 100,000 shares at a time too, right? And it's a $6,000 position, which is like a minimal position for me when I'm trading other stocks, right? That's why it's kind of the power behind them too, when they're ripe to go, which has been kind of recently, as we've seen. And it's a macro thing. The only reason I was really interested in the dip on LIFW yesterday, when this thing normally you would think is toast, dude, 8 to 24 to 8, you would think that that's just done. There's no strength left there. But what we've been seeing on these ones that do big volume day one and then fade are that they set up for breakouts lately, So kind of unfortunate that LIFW didn't give me a little bit more time, or I didn't react to the gap up this morning, but it was gapping up like 80%, and in my head, I was supposed to be long yesterday. So that's one of the problems, but.
Totally.
Do you have another part to that question? Sorry,
Yeah.
I kept going.
No worries. Yeah, I do actually. Now, in terms of intraday patterns, whether they're pushing in the morning or turning to all-day faders, are you keeping a track of just mentally, or are you putting it into an Excel sheet?
What's that?
Are you keeping track of the intraday patterns mentally, or are you actually tracking them?
Mental.
Okay.
Yeah, and they just roll into the next one and roll into the next one over and over again, and I would highly recommend, if you're journaling your trades or that kind of thing, having that sort of tracking that you can track it in the spreadsheet if you want, if there are ways that you want to track it. For me, it's just a rolling thing that I'm always thinking about, but for those who want to be more conscious of everything, if you want to write down a couple sentences about the markets today and think from that first, how are the markets, and then what patterns, how was small cap, were there runners? All right. If there were runners, what was running? And then once you get to what was running, you get to, okay, what did the daily chart and intraday look like? What patterns actually manifested today within that, So that's how it's always been for me. We start big picture and then whittle our way all the way down to the 1-minute chart. You know what I mean? And if you want to take that macro idea and keep a running tally for yourself, or be able to find that for yourself more quickly, it's really important. It's very important. It's just built into what I do all day. So when I see a pattern work or fail, I mentally note that pattern is working or failing at the moment. Like right now, You know what I mean? So if all else is equal and another ticker pops up this afternoon or tomorrow and a pattern presents itself or a setup presents itself, at that point is when I think, well, did this work yesterday? You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And that's really the key to me is like, did it work yesterday? Because if it worked yesterday, decent probability it works today. And if it works today, it might work tomorrow. And then here's the funny part. If we get into 3 or 4 days of some working, day 5 or day 6, I'm like very skeptical, dude. I try to kind of be skeptical because when something works for too long, it stops working.
Yeah, like milk expiration, right?
Totally. And it can happen fast. Once everyone knows something, it's done. The opportunity's gone, the edge is gone.
Now, in a hot market, does that number has a big difference? Like what I mean by that is, nowadays a pattern might end up working like 5 to 6 times before it expires. In a hot market, does that extend to like maybe 9 times, 10?
Yeah. So really, at the end of the day, what our goal is to push each pattern and each setup when it's there to the max. That's really what we do. If you have a grip on something, even like, so I mean, AVGR, it's not specifically a pattern, but when you have a good finger on the pulse of a stock and a move, something like AVGR, where I mean, there's kind of no excuse for me to not try to play it this morning in my head. But yeah, it's we don't want to just get scared. You know, usually the idea is I'm just going to keep pushing the pattern, push the pattern, push the pattern, push the pattern until I take a big L. It doesn't have to be a big L. It could be a small L. But until I start definitively seeing that setup not work, and when I really like to pump the brakes is the first time it doesn't work for me, and I've played it correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. That makes sense.
And it's like, okay, that is, you know, when I say I like to anticipate that that's going to happen, that's so I'm ready to keep the money that I've been making, right? That's the whole thing. I know that the setup's not going to be there forever. It'll come back later, but it's not going to be here forever right now. So take what I can for now towards, you know, that's best case scenario. If you're like, shit, if you're starting to think, oh man, this has got to stop working at some point, that means you've been doing something right. So yeah, I mean, the real answer for me is just press until you take the L. And then when I take that L or 2 L's, the whole idea from that point is then to back off the pattern and watch it work again for me. Just watch it go without me once, and then I can start, maybe it's tomorrow. You know, I always talk about this. Maybe I took the L, maybe it was just a lull, or just this one didn't work, or maybe dilution or whatever it is. And tomorrow I see it again, so right back on, you know, put it back on. That's it. Put risk back on that setup.
No, for sure. That makes a lot more sense.
And these are the things that, these are the gray areas that I find the good traders know how to handle and have some sort of process that has nothing to do with the charts, you know, but everything to do with your management of your regression and your perspective going into the day.
Yeah, I see that's my goal right now. I'm trying to focus on macro way more before I jump into price action, reading candles or whatnot.
It's good. It's good because so really at the end of the day, what I want going into the trading day is a somewhat realistic and accurate perspective on what's actually working right now and what's happening. Because that's going to set the mood for everything I'm going to do for the day. You know, it's going to determine how I'm sizing out. It's going to determine what levels I'm sizing out into. It's going to determine how aggressive I'm being on dip buys. It's going to determine if I'm trading break, what setups I'm trading. It determines everything going into a day for me. And it's always a rolling idea. So that's where that process things comes into play, and why I always do think about the markets and small cap and what patterns are actually working and not working, and what price ranges, what sector, catalyst. Sometimes it's no catalyst. Is there a bigger picture to this whole story? Which, like with the bottom bouncers, there is a bigger picture, man. You know, 10 cents is important. They're going to have to split at some point. They are, most of them, if they're getting below 10 cents, they have toxic dilution. And then it's a matter of kind of putting the big picture together, then getting down to the entries. And then at that point, I already have conviction. I've already got perspective set. And then it's like, how do I get great risk reward and get whatever that risk amount that I want is, be accurate with it and have an amazing amount of potential on the other side of the trade? Or in a slower market, understand it's slower and still get great risk reward to like VWAP, you know, or to other levels where people don't even see trades. I'm able to take profits. So that's kind of the deal, guys. Great question, by the way. Great question.
Thanks for your time, Roland.
No problem, my friend. All right, y'all, I'm gonna check out real quick. I need to get something in my stomach real fast. I'm gonna get back to these charts. Sitting on AGRI for now. We'll see what they do with it into this afternoon. LIFW obviously holding up really nicely. I should have been long for 9, so I won't play it in the 20s personally. If I trade LIFW, I don't want it to personally get back over near highs today. I want it to pull a little bit and gap down, believe it or not. I want it to set up for one more day tomorrow, and then maybe a breakout next week or something. I don't think it's going to give it to me. I don't like that it already broke out today. And straight up from 8 cents, so that's kind of the only issue I have. But that's it. That's an example of, I don't know, maybe go through their filings, go through check out the dilution and see why they are one of the ones that is able to go pretty freely right now when volume actually does come in. And I'd imagine it's because they're not putting their foot on it as hard as some of these other ones. So interesting. All right, everyone. I'll catch you for Power Hour prep. If you've been DMing me, I'll get to DMs today as well. I have to figure out Chicago right now, so that's exactly what I'm doing. For my Chicago people, I'll have our venue here shortly. And I'll let you guys know. I'll be in chat. Stay safe. Love you all. Congrats to everyone who had great trades today. Learned some good lessons. Take it easy. It's midday. We'll catch you guys, honestly, about 2 hours from now is when I'm really looking for my afternoon pushes and stuff like that. So I'll catch you in a little bit.